BS meter goes off, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Well, then it just becomes really uncomfortable to talk to someone who isn't being entirely honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happens? So can I ask you a little bit about if you're speaking from personal experience?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so can you, if you feel comfortable, right? If you don't want to go into details, you don't have to, but I'm so curious about if you could share like what, because I think there are a lot of men out there that are listening right now. I imagine a lot of women will resonate with your experience, but I think it would be very illustrative and helpful to men if they could hear more about like an example. Do you feel comfortable sharing something like that?
Yes, I do.
Story time, let's go.
I mean, it's obviously something I've done myself. I think
Sure.
this is something that everyone does at some point.
Thank you for
but
adding that nuance.
Of course, of course. I just want to reiterate that women and men have separate issues at different levels of nuance, and it's hard to say who is suffering more. You can't really measure suffering, so anything I'm saying, I am not being like, oh, this is true, or this is 100%
Right, yeah, no.
the case. Not at all.
I honestly really appreciate that. I think this kind of discussion needs that sort of nuance, but I'd love to hear what your actual experience like was with, you know.
Yes. So in high school, which was I think like 4 or 5 years ago, I don't really remember. I was beginning to experiment with relationship, and I met someone who seemed like he was very confident, and he seemed to be interested in almost everything I liked. Stuff like anime and fan fiction, stuff like that.
Oh my
Things I'm
goodness.
genuinely embarrassed about. He was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I like that too. And I'm like,
Yeah, because if you're
Yeah.
interested in anime and fan fiction, I imagine you get judged harshly for that a lot.